Right. So one question I had was, how has the knowledge of free will skepticism affected your life personally? Have you, for me, it allows me to treat people with a bit more empathy, to be a bit more humble with my own achievements, and just be a bit like kinder to people, because you realize people didn't make themselves, people had no control over the prior events leading up to someone, say, cutting you off in traffic, or just someone being a bit nasty to you. That there's majority of the times, well, all of the times, there's reasons for these people being like that. And there's reasons for me. If I was in a bad mood and I did something bad, there's a reason why I did that.
Yeah, so I guess I could think about it both on a kind of interpersonal level, like maybe as a parent to my daughter, or as a friend to a colleague, or I could think about it on the level of my attitudes toward public policy and my views in, say, criminal justice. I think it's changed me quite a bit, and it's affected my views on a daily basis. So in addition, by the way, I mean, we talked a lot about determinism and indeterminism. I want to throw in that there's a separate kind of concern that really is sort of, independent completely of these discussions of determinism, indeterminism. And that's the problem of luck, which is that it seems that who we are is also a byproduct of the pervasiveness of luck. And in particular, the kind of luck that factors into our constitutive character. So the kind of luck I'm thinking about is the kind of luck of the lottery of life, the kind of luck as to who your parents were, what society you were born into, whether you were born rich or poor, white or black, male or female, whether you were born with a disability or not, whether you were predisposed to addiction or not, or whether or not you have some sort of you're born into a house of a loving and supportive house or an abusive household. Those are matters beyond our control, and they're matters that we often refer to as issues of luck. And so those make up what I call constitutive luck, the kind of luck that makes us the kind of agents we are. It's the luck that makes us into the psychological agents we are, that shapes our likes and dislikes and preferences and motivational states and the way we reason and deliberate. And then there's present luck, which is luck around the time of action. That could be the luck of the color of the wall, or whether I got into an argument right before having to make a difficult life choice, or the luck of circumstantial features of my environment that could influence me in ways that I'm unaware of. It could be the luck of whether my mind wanders at the right or wrong moment, what reasons become most salient in my deliberation at that particular instant. And my argument would be our actions are the byproduct of either constitutive luck or present luck, or both. And constitutive and present luck individually and separately undermine free will and moral responsibility. So when I think of people, addiction, crime, wrongdoing, I tend to see individuals as byproduct of their circumstances, and the intuitions about the lottery of life not being equal for all of us, and the challenges that drove individuals to their particular types of behavior are always in the forefront of my mind. So in terms of how I interact with individuals, I tend less to resort to blame and moral anger and resentment and indignation. I do so because I also realize that these are unjustified types of emotional reactions to wrongdoing. Now, that's not to say, you just forgive people, or you let, wrongdoing go by without any, any reaction at all. I just think that you want to replace the types of reactions we have with more forward-looking, effective responses. So, for example, if my daughter does something at school, she does something wrong, and she engages in kind of behavior I disapprove of, the free will skeptic can say, well, instead of moral anger or blame, one could engage in a forward-looking kind of conversational approach that focuses on aspects of her as an individual that may be responsible for that wrongdoing, causally responsible for that wrongdoing, to identify those features of herself, to acknowledge that she would be better off without these particular properties or characteristics, and then try to figure out ways moving forward that she could try to work at changing those aspects of herself so that she doesn't engage in that kind of behavior in the future. So instead of moral anger or resentment or blame, you could feel sorrow or disappointment, because those don't presuppose the kind of free will that I reject. And often moral anger is corrosive to our interpersonal relationships. It's often counterproductive from a perspective of trying to improve an agent. People shut down in the face of moral anger or in the face of blame. And so I tend to think that these different ways of addressing wrongdoing are not only more justified, they're more humane, and they're also, in most cases, more effective at achieving the desired ends that we want. And so I tend to, again, not, blame individuals as harshly, not to seek retribution in the face of wrongdoing.